Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're going to be teaching you how to properly clean your Ninja Foodi Pressure Cooker. So you ready? Let's get into this. The Ninja Foodi Pressure Cookers come in two different varieties. You've got the smart lid version like I've got right here, which has the pressure cooking lid and the crisping lid all built into one. Cleaning either one is going to be identical except for one step that we're going to get into first. I just got done a few hours ago doing a 9-hour slow cook on some chicken breasts in here, so the thing is nice and dirty for us. That's not the way I normally keep it, so don't worry, I'm not disgusting. As far as you know anyway. Before you get started, be sure to unplug your Ninja Foodi. See? Well, we'll go ahead and clean this disgusting tub first. Alright, let's grab our cleaning supplies. Gotcha! That meme just never dies. Okay, we're going to want to heat up some water. Put a little bit of detergent in here. And once this water gets warmed up a little bit, we'll go ahead and fill this thing about halfway up. The pot on these Ninja Foodi pressure cookers has a non-stick coating on it. We don't want to get that scratched up, so you got to be careful what you use to clean it. I'm using these Scott-Brite non-scratch scrub sponges. They're specially designed for things like countertops, showers, tubs, and non-stick cookware. That's very important. You need to protect that surface. If you've got stuff stuck in there pretty good, you might want to just let it soak for a little bit with hot water, just to loosen it up a little bit so you're not really scrubbing too hard. I know these are for non-stick surfaces, but you don't really want to push your luck on that too much. You want to let the hot water and detergent kind of do their job for you as much as possible. And when your water gets all disgusting like this, go ahead and pour it out and we'll throw in some fresh water. Be sure you clean the outside of this thing as well. You don't really need to dry this or anything yet because we are going to be using it to steam clean the pressure cooker as well. I just didn't want to do it with a bunch of crap in it like that. On the smart lid version of the pressure cooker, there's only one lid. This handles the air frying. You can see the fan in there. You can see the coils for the heating element. These areas here close off for pressure cooking. And you got the valve for the pressure cooker right here. If you've got the non-smart lid version of the pressure cooker, you get two lids. You got a pressure cooking lid, which actually is really extremely easy to clean, so we really don't even have to go into that too much. And then you've got the lid that's built into the machine. And that lid looks a lot like our smart lid, but as you can see, it's got this big protective grill on it that makes it impossible to clean back behind it. So in order to do your cleaning, we're going to have to remove that grill. That grill is held on by a bunch of Torx screws in these positions. The size on that should be CRUT 15, and you can get a whole set of those really cheap. Keep in mind those are the security version, so it's not a regular Torx screw. It's got that pin in the middle. So you want to make sure you get the right bits. Once that's off, you can go ahead and clean that like you normally would in the sink or even throw it in your dishwasher. That thing's pretty durable, so I wouldn't really worry too much about scratching it or anything like that. The next thing you want to do is remove the inner cover for the pressure valve. And it just pops off just like that. And we're going to want to go ahead and remove this rubber seal as well. Just be careful not to bend it out of shape or anything like that. It's durable, it's not going to be a problem, but you want to be careful with it anyway. Because if you mess this thing up, your pressure cooker's not going to seal properly, and that's going to suck. Then all we got to do is put these into a bowl of water here. Hot, of course. I'll just go ahead and let these sit in here and soak for a while, and then you can go ahead and scrub them later. We really won't go into that too much because I'm pretty sure you can figure that part out. We're not going to take the coils or the fan out of here or anything like that. Number one, because you don't have to. And number two, because probably nobody's going to want to. All the bigger areas, like all in here and around, we're going to clean with that same sponge with some warm water and detergent on it. To get into some of these nooks and crannies, I would just use an old toothbrush to break everything up. No problem. These are super cheap. And if you decide you want to clean back behind your fan here, you can always use one of these. And what this is one of those cleaners for reusable straws. I've just bent it right here so I can kind of hook it back behind the fan. As you can see, the fan's going to move like this. So if you're going to clean back behind it, you're going to want to put your fingers through the middle of the coil here and hold it steady while you're fishing this thing back behind it like that. Keep in mind that the fan is sharp around the edges here. So you want to be careful. You don't want to grab it around the edge, up around here or anything. You want to hold that in the middle. Otherwise, you can kind of cut yourself. Okay, and then we can go ahead and just use our soapy sponge Scrub the coils all around in here and onto all the surfaces that we can reach. By the way, this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. If you've got some really stubborn spots on the coil, you can use a little bit of steel wool if you want to, just on the bits that are extra dirty. You don't have to worry about that, it's not going to mess your coil up. Just remember not to push too hard on it, you don't want to bend this. Just remember to check your reservoir once in a while here because that's going to fill up with water while you are cleaning here. And you don't want that to get all over your counter. That would suck. You can use a toothbrush to get into areas back around the sides where it's hard to get the sponge into. Shouldn't really be too many places like that though, but it's kind of nice to have it, that's for sure. That straw cleaner, you can get that back behind the fan here and kind of clean up underneath if you want to. I don't think it's going to be all that dirty back there, but it doesn't hurt to get back there a little bit and just make sure. But there's not going to really be too much opportunity for too much food to get stuck back in there anyway. So I wouldn't worry too much about that, but that's totally up to you. Just remember, like I said before, hold that fan in the middle. Even though it seems like you want to do it a different way, just don't. You're going to end up cutting yourself. Also, be sure to give the inside of the pot some love too here. Something that gets overlooked a little bit sometimes. Probably not going to be all that dirty in here because unless you got stuff overflowing or whatever, it doesn't have really an opportunity to get in here. But as long as you're in the machine, you might as well clean it, right? Also, you can use that toothbrush to clean up the little drain gutter here around the outside. This will get a lot of food and stuff into it, so it's a good idea to keep that as clean as you possibly can. Alright, once we got all that cleaned up, we can go ahead and put our cover back on the pressure valve. It just snaps on just like that. And don't forget to put your rubber seal back in. And you just want to kind of slip it over on one side and just follow it all the way around. You don't have to force it in there, it should just be able to fit nice and easy all by itself. Also be sure that it's not sitting like this where it's not quite in there. You want this metal bar to be right in the middle, because if it's not in there all the way, like that, to where you can kind of spin it around and it moves freely, then it's not going to make a seal. And that's very important. At this point, if you got the version that has the grill on the top here, you can go ahead and reinstall that right now. When you put those torque screws on, it's a good idea to start them by hand first and then use the driver. And be sure that you spin a little bit freely when you're putting them in. You don't want to put it in crooked and cross-thread it. Once you got that back on, we'll be ready to steam clean. So we'll put the bowl back in, plug your pressure cooker back in, put in about 2.5 cups worth of water, and about 1 large lemon's worth of lemon juice. We can go ahead and close this up, turn it on, and we're gonna set this to steam. And we'll just do it for about, I don't know, about 15 minutes or so, and go ahead and start it up.
3:28 a.m.
Once that's finished, we can go ahead and open this up. And you can see it looks pretty good.
Ta-da!
Once this cools down, you can go ahead and pour that out and re-clean this bowl. Be sure to empty that reservoir again also. If you just leave this open, it should be hot enough to go ahead and dry everything up on its own. And anything excessive is just going to go ahead and drain out anyway. Once that cools down, you can go ahead and clean your pot back up and put it back in the machine. Clean up some of these little exterior spots here. Close it up. And then we can use that Scott-Brite towel again and clean the exterior of our machine up. This machine has these little stainless steel pieces on here, but whatever you do, don't use Barkeeper's Friend or any other kind of stainless cleaner on it. This is very thin metal, and those things are abrasive enough to where they're going to scratch this surface. So just keep that in mind. And to dry it, I like to keep some microfiber towels around. They just do a lot better job making the surface not streak or anything. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about us, you can watch a couple more videos, or you can visit us online at joesphenomenal.com. Good as new. So if you decide you want to go ahead and clean up your Ninja Foodi Pressure Cooker the way we did in this video, we have links to everything you need down in the description of the video. If you got any questions about it, please feel free to drop me a note down in the comments and I'll do what I can to get that answered for you. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.